Traveling Through the Dark by William E. Stafford. I'll start by admitting that I really didn't take this assignment seriously. I figured I'd talk about emotional responses, throw in a little interpretation, grab some pictures off of Google, and I'd be done. So, I went looking for a poem. But first, I had to choose an author. Shakespeare. No, that's overdone. Emily Dickinson? Nope, same problem. Anyone else I could think of was either a childhood poet of silly rhymes or a lover of greeting cards. No one had the right feel. I had to turn my sights elsewhere. So I started flipping through the pages. I had every intention of picking an average length, light and happy poem, but I got sidetracked. Those happy poems just weren't holding my interest. Love and friendship and all that other sappy stuff was just oozing from the author's words. After a few minutes of reading, I was sick of it. So I turned away from the light poems. Instead, I decided to travel to the other end of the spectrum and start examining the dark ones. One of these quickly caught my eye. It wasn't very long or overly complicated, but so much seemed to happen within the few minutes covered within the poem. A nameless man encounters a dead deer while driving along a dangerously narrow road alongside a ravine. He stops and gets out and quickly finds that the deer was pregnant and that her baby is still alive inside her. After experiencing a small internal struggle, he finally pushes the deer over the edge of the road into the ravine. I first thought on how horrible this man was. He showed no respect for life and didn't even try to help the unborn baby deer. It made me angry and sad because I knew that the poem reflected actions that are taken in real life. The poem inspired such a strong emotional response from me that I knew I had to choose it. I didn't waste any time before I began to write. I rushed to put down everything I had thought and felt during my search. I didn't want to forget any of it. But of course, my rush job didn't go quite right. I ended up writing so much, and yet I didn't like any of it. My interpretations were just so dark and condemning. They were also predictable, which made them really boring. The writing was just that. Writing. It sounded like I was spewing out an essay instead of a script, instead of a response. So, I calmed down. I went back to the beginning and read the poem again, trying to look at it with new eyes. And then I understood. Practicality, preservation of life, and the ending of a life already doomed to death so that it couldn't hurt anyone else. This is what Stafford is trying to convey. His poem isn't necessarily dark and gloomy. It's just realistic. Sometimes we have to travel dark roads, but we learn from them, and we live.